Hey, what's going on, boys? It's your boy Plasma Rick back with another video, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Obviously, if you are current viewers of the channel, you know that a lot of the things I do on the series or on the channel is a series of reactions related to anime or whatnot. But today I want to try something a little different, maybe just start a new series of our own, because I do go to a lot of the movies, and these are going to be something quick and easy I can do. So welcome to a review of the movie Mickey 17, and there's a lot I can say about this movie. I just got out of the theater watching it. And I'm just going to probably rant for maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little less, about what I thought of the movie and give it a final score on the Ric Reacts meter, or Ric meter. I don't know, man. I'll TM it later. Who knows? But if you are here on the channel and you want to hear a no bullshit, completely medium perspective guide, I do not like to align myself with either side politically or any of that. If you want to hear a completely non-biased take on a lot of these movies, then I'm going to give them to you, unless, of course, I state that I am biased going in, for example, like Marvel movies or something along those lines, where I am inherently biased on, for some reason, if I'm a fan or whatnot. Like the Sonic movies, for example, which I did not do, reviews for the channel on. But as you guys may know, if you've seen my Sonic content on the channel, you know I'm a big Sonic fan. So even though those movies are a pile of dog shit, I'm probably going to rate them decently higher than the average person would. But back to what I'm saying. Mickey 17. Bong Joon-ho's next film. I've previously seen only one of his other films, and that being Parasite. Absolute masterpiece of a movie. I have my own problems with that movie too, but it is by far a very, very good film that I would rate up there on some of the best films that I've seen in my time. And he comes back for this movie. Obviously not a movie with Korean actors this time. You get Robert Pattinson, you get Mark Ruffalo, you get Steven Yeun, you get a couple other characters that I don't know their actor's name, you'll have to forgive me. You get Nasha and the other girl that's in the film. I'm going to try to keep it very light on spoilers. If I ever do, I'll try to give you guys a warning. But honestly, a very messy film, if I had to say. There's a lot of stuff going on in the film. You have, obviously, the plot basing around Mickey 17 living, and he's an expendable, so he has to die, and he gets cloned so that the company can reset him and go further, which kind of feels like it's supposed to be a social commentary on the workplace and the work roles, and kind of how Parasite was a class difference, and that kind of feels like this, because several times in the movie do the villains refer to the expendables or the workers as garbage or lesser than themselves, and that is what the beginning of the movie really feels like, is another class commentary movie on the class difference, or the class systems of not only just South Korea but of the world in different places. And and it kind of changes from that into a message later on about the environment and keeping, and hurting the wildlife, hurting planets. And there's also racial themes on racism and a bunch of different things going on here all at once. And honestly, it doesn't mesh well, in my opinion. The movie, at one point, you think, man, I know where the story's going, and then it goes a different direction, and then it goes a different direction. I'm not talking in a good way. Not like it is a roller coaster, but one that you feel like you got on backwards, and you can't see where you're going, and it's just, it's wild. It's just crazy. The movie's crazy, and not like a good crazy where it's like, oh my god, it's so crazy. It's more like, what? Like, I can't understand it. And I know a lot of people really do enjoy this film, and obviously this is my take on the movie. I don't like to go in with any bias. If you're thinking about going to see the movie or what, this is kind of for you guys that are mixed. If you guys maybe come out of the theater thinking like me, but the person that I went to the movie with definitely did say something that resonated with me, and it definitely feels like Bong Joon-ho came in and he said, this is my movie, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want with it. And I believe there's a quote that said, why is the movie called Mickey 17, based off the book, which is Mickey 7, and he said, because I wanted to kill Robert Pattinson 10 more times. And it feels like he just came in and let the actors go wild. He went wild. It just feels like he just wanted to make a movie that he thought it was fun to make, and maybe he had a blast making this movie. And while I want to say this movie is fun, there's fun parts, it's a slog. There's a lot of runtime that could be shortened, and the beginning is a little rough, and there's a lot of elements of good character storytelling, and then they don't know how to resolve it correctly. And I feel like the only explanation is that he came in, he said, well, I did my Oscar winning movie, I want to make something that's fun. And maybe he had a blast making this, and maybe this is an FU to Hollywood, you know, of him just saying, you know, this is what I wanted to make, if you don't like it, fuck off, you know, like, and I don't know. The only thing I can describe this movie with is I don't know. I don't know. Robert Patterson did a fine job. He did good. I'd say it wasn't like a super stellar performance. He does play two distinct roles, and I guess I can give him credit because, and by the way, I think he is a fantastic actor. But I think he's doing a good job because you can tell the difference without, you know, needing any markings or names calling them their names between the two Mickeys in the film. And I think that's great. I think there's a lot of... He's great. Mark Ruffalo, another one I want to talk about. One that everyone is hailing as brilliant in this film, and as hilariously funny. And he has some goofy moments, but his character is also a mess. There's stuff that they talk about, like he has different plans for the planet. He wants to, you know, farm it for resources. He wants to kill all the wildlife on the planet. He wants to breed people to make a perfect white race at one point. There's a bunch of different things going on, and it definitely it never feels like he's a unified villain. And at the same time, they kind of sometimes play it that his wife is really in control, and she's the mastermind, and she's telling him what to do because he does listen to everything she tells him to. And you know, there's a part at the end, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but there's a cool sequence inside of Mickey's head, and the visuals go a little crazy, and they talk about they kind of portray her as maybe the bigger villain, but they never resolve that. And even the climax doesn't feel like a climax. It takes like 30 minutes to get to, and there's like I said, there's that halfway point where you feel like the beginning of the movie is its own thing, and then the rest is just so incredibly slow to me. And I just wanted to say this because I've seen overwhelming praise, and don't get me wrong, when I saw this trailer for this movie, I was excited. This was on this is like, I believe, on my Letterboxd page. This is my most like hype movie of the year, was Mickey 17. I was so excited for this film, and it just feels sad because it disappointed me in a lot of ways. And I think that might be because I was hoping to see another masterpiece from the director of like Parasite. And while we didn't get that, and I kind of knew that I wasn't going to get something that good going, and I expected to get something of a high quality, and it just feels like it isn't, and it's disappointing to me. Back to Mark. I was going to talk about Mark Ruffalo more. You see, this is why I'm going to call this like a rant or something. A lot of people are hailing this as a great Trump, you know. And like I said, I'm not politically inclined. I like to stay completely in the middle. So there's a lot of things I can say. I'm not going to say on politics, but I think to label this character as just a Trump is disingenuous to Mark Ruffalo's character. He's a fascist. He's a moron. He's a clown. But and I feel like while Mark Ruffalo's performance might have came from the area of Trump, the people who are hailing this movie just because they think that Mark Ruffalo's playing like a perfect one-to-one Trump, I think you're being disingenuous to the movie, because in reality there's a lot of things that are funny about this character, but there are a lot of things that I was just bored of. Like at one point he got boring. Like I can go up and watch Trump be a clown in certain areas for a long time, right? But I'm not gonna sit down and watch Trump be a clown for 3 hours. I'm gonna get fucking bored. And the same way with this, he's a fascist for, you know, and a clown for more screen time than it feels like Mickey's on the screen, and Robert Pattinson's on the screen, and I feel like I don't want to see more of him at a certain point. I'm done. Like, maybe that's the point, is for you to be annoyed at him, and you to be annoyed at fascism, and of course fascism is terrible, and, you know, all that. But I feel like the people who are hyping Mark Ruffalo up as an amazing performance, he just, they basically let him pull a Jim Carrey. They let him come out, they let him do what he wants, and I feel like that's what Bong Joon-ho wanted with this film, is he just said, Robert Pattinson, come out. Mark Ruffalo, come out. Steven Yeun kind of just had his one role. And speaking of that, there's another whole plot line with Steven Yeun's character and how it relates to Mickey, and that gets sidelined and never truly fully resolved. There's a lot of empty plot lines. There's another actress in this film. I don't know what her name is. But she plays a alternative love interest, important side character, and they open her character up for something very important from the first act of the film to about the midway point, and then they just fucking forget about her. She seemed to have like this complete character dynamic change and switch, and in a scene that I actually probably my favorite scene in the movie, and then they just fucking forget about her, and it kind of pissed me off. But yeah, I mean that's just me ranting for 11 minutes on the film. Hopefully, I'm not expecting anything on this video. If you enjoyed, then like or whatnot. But I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into the Plasma Ric movie review meter. I'll probably think of a better name later. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It was not bad. It was not good. It was a mess. And I think that there was a lot of like I said, I had a lot of hype going in. And it has a very interesting concept that not a lot of movies do with this whole death loop kind of thing, almost like Groundhog Day, except without the time part. And it feels like it falls flat. It just feels like it falls flat. And that was the reaction that I had from most of the people that I went with that were more inclined to narratives and storytelling and all that. And I'm coming from that from a fully storytelling perspective. There, but I definitely think that if this is like a middle finger to Hollywood or the movie making industry and just Bong Joon-ho doing his passion project, then props to him. But in reality, I did not have a good time. And I know there's a guy that does this. Should you go see Mickey 17? I would say if you're not a Trump hater or not a politically to one side where you'll think everything that Mark Ruffalo does is hilarious, because honestly this is a Mark Ruffalo film more than this is a Robert Pattinson film, then I would say do not go watch this film. But of course I'm not gonna if you want to go, everyone go see it to make their own opinion. But if you are on the fence on whether you should go see it or not, and not like me who was like I'm fully in, then I would say save your money for another film. But this is hopefully going to be the first, because I know I've done 2 other movie films. Of course, they were anime movies or whatnot. There's going to be one of hopefully more to come movie reviews. So if you guys did enjoy them, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts on Mickey in the comments. I like to hear all, like I said, I'm completely non-biased. I'm not politically aligned. So I want to hear all your comments, what your thoughts are on the movie in the comments. Like what your perspective was, what your thoughts on a character dynamic was, maybe something that I said that you resonated with, something that you disagree with. Try to keep it polite, of course. I'm not trying to stir up any hate here. This is just my opinion, full. There it is, boss. My opinion. This is not a fact, not nothing else. This is my take on the movie as somebody that's kind of non-biased. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoyed. If you do enjoy these movie reviews, then I might do more. So who knows? And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're an anime fan and you've stumbled across my channel somehow, I have reactions on the channel. They're going to still be coming, churning out as usual. But yes, there's my Mickey 17 review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.